The surprising truth about high achievers nobody tells you. What if I told you that the most successful people you admire, the ones you see at the top, are not who you think they are? They didn't just get lucky. They didn't just work harder than everyone else. In fact, the truth behind high achievement is often far more complex, and sometimes even surprising. Are you ready to uncover the secrets behind the success you see? The hidden struggles of high achievers. We often look at high achievers and see their accomplishments, admiring their success, their drive, their talent. We see them and think, they've made it. They've got it all figured out. But here's the thing. Behind that success is often a hidden struggle, something we don't always see. Take Elon Musk, for example. You know him as the genius behind Tesla, SpaceX, and Neuralink, the guy who's aiming to take humans to Mars. But what you don't always hear is the personal toll his success has taken. Musk has openly shared how he worked 100-hour weeks to keep his companies running. Imagine that for a second, 100 hours. That's nearly 3 full-time jobs rolled into 1 week. And despite all the success, he's admitted that this came with sacrifices. His health, his relationships, his own happiness. Does this sound familiar to you? Maybe you've pushed yourself to the brink, thinking that the only way to succeed is to work harder, faster, and longer. But here's the surprising truth. Success doesn't have to come at the cost of your well-being. You don't have to burn out to reach your goals. In fact, that's the quickest way to burn out and lose your passion. There's a way to succeed without sacrificing your happiness and mental health. And it starts with recognizing that the true cost of success isn't just about how much you work, but also about knowing when to pause and recharge. So next time you see someone achieving big things, remember, you're only seeing the tip of the iceberg. Behind every success story is a mix of challenges, struggles, and sacrifices. It's important to realize that these hidden struggles are part of the journey, but they don't define the whole picture. Find balance. Recognize your limits. You'll go further in the long run, and you won't lose yourself along the way. The power of perseverance over perfection. Now, let's talk about something that stops a lot of us from achieving anything: perfectionism. We think that in order to succeed, we have to do everything perfectly without a single mistake. But what if I told you that imperfection is actually the secret to success? Let's take Michael Jordan, for instance. We know him as the GOAT, the greatest of all time when it comes to basketball. But here's a little secret. Jordan didn't even make his high school varsity team the first time he tried. Can you imagine that? One of the best players in the world started out as someone who wasn't good enough to make the cut. Yet, he didn't let that failure define him. Instead, he let it fuel him. Jordan once said, "I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed." Think about that for a second. That's 9,000 missed opportunities, 300 failures, 26 moments where he was given the chance to win and failed. But guess what? Every time he failed, he got back up and kept going. He didn't quit. He didn't say, "Well, that's it, I'm not good enough." He used each failure as a lesson, as a stepping stone toward greatness. This isn't just about basketball, it's about life. How many times have you missed a shot? How many times have you tried and failed? Maybe you've applied for a job and didn't get it. Maybe you've tried to learn a new skill and it didn't go as planned. And maybe you've thought, "I'm just not cut out for this." But here's the thing. Failure is part of the process. Perfection is a myth. Every high achiever, every successful person has faced failure. They didn't let it stop them. They embraced it. They learned from it. They persevered. So what's the takeaway here? If you're chasing perfection, you might just be stalling your progress. Perfectionism can be paralyzing. It makes you hesitate, second guess, and fear failure. But when you embrace imperfection, when you give yourself permission to make mistakes and learn from them, that's when real growth happens. The key to success lies in perseverance and balance. So, what's the real secret behind the high achievers you admire? It's not about working yourself to the point of exhaustion, and it's not about doing everything perfectly. It's about finding balance, knowing when to push forward, and understanding that failure is not the end. It's a lesson. It's about embracing imperfection, learning, and persevering. Next time you find yourself striving for perfection or pushing yourself too hard, remember, you don't have to burn out to achieve greatness. You don't have to be perfect to succeed. In fact, success is about growing through the mistakes, learning from them, and continuing to show up day after day. So let this be your reminder. Don't let the fear of imperfection hold you back. Don't let the pressure of success drain you. Strive for progress, not perfection. Take care of your mental and emotional well-being. And above all, keep pushing forward because the road to success is paved with perseverance, not perfection. You've got this. Now go out there and make it happen. The role of mindset in success is a powerful quote by Henry Ford. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. This simple statement holds the key to one of the most important lessons on the road to success: your mindset. Think about it. We all have those moments when we face setbacks. It might be a failed project, a difficult conversation, or just a bad day. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking, I can't do this, or I'm just not cut out for this. But here's the thing. What you believe shapes what you can achieve. Let's take a moment and talk about the growth mindset, a concept made famous by psychologist Carol Dweck. It's the belief that our abilities aren't fixed, that we can grow, learn, and improve with effort and persistence. But here's the surprising truth. High achievers don't just have a growth mindset, they cultivate it day in and day out. They nurture it. It becomes a core part of who they are. Take Thomas Edison, for example. You probably know him as the inventor of the light bulb, but did you know that Edison failed thousands of times before he found success? Thousands of failures. Now, most people would call it quits after a handful of those, but Edison didn't. He didn't see failure the way most of us do. In his mind, failure was just part of the process, a lesson to be learned. His famous quote, "I have not failed, I've just found 1,000,000 ways that won't work," says it's all. For Edison, every failure wasn't a sign to give up, it was just another step closer to success. And that's the mindset of a high achiever. It's the unshakable belief that no matter how many times you fall, you'll rise again. You'll keep going. And you can do that too. When things get tough, ask yourself, what's next? Not why me or what's wrong with me. It's about looking at setbacks with curiosity, seeing them as opportunities to learn and grow. High achievers develop this mindset by training their brain to see possibility even in the darkest moments. Have you ever noticed how when you tell yourself, I can't, it feels like a wall you can't break through? But when you switch to I can, it's like a whole new world opens up. That's the power of positive self-talk. It's about mastering the art of silencing the inner critic, the voice inside that says, you're not good enough, the one that holds most people back. High achievers don't just fight through external challenges, they defeat the negative thoughts that try to hold them down. So the next time you face a challenge, remember Edison. Remember that failure is not the end. It's just another lesson along the way. Keep telling yourself, I can, I will, I'm just getting started. High achievers don't do it alone, they build communities. Now, let's shift gears for a minute. You know how the story often goes. The lone genius working late into the night, coming up with a breakthrough idea all by themselves. We love the idea of the lone wolf, someone who does it all alone, carving their own path to success. But here's the truth that most people miss. No one achieves great success all on their own. Even the most iconic figures needed help, support, and collaboration. They didn't make it to the top by themselves, and neither will you. Let's talk about Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak. We all know Steve Jobs, the visionary behind Apple, but what many don't know is that it was Steve Wozniak, the tech genius, who was the one building the first Apple computers. Jobs had the ideas, but Wozniak had the skills to bring those ideas to life. Together, they built something world-changing. But it's not just about having a partner. Think about athletes, whether it's a basketball player, a football star, or a tennis champion. Behind every success, there's a coach, a team, a community of people working together to elevate one another. High achievers understand that success isn't about doing everything on your own. It's about surrounding yourself with people who lift you up, challenge you, and believe in your vision. Look at anyone who has accomplished something truly great. They all had a tribe, a group of people who were with them every step of the way, offering guidance, motivation, and support. So where does that leave you? It leaves you with a simple lesson. Don't go it alone. Find your tribe. Surround yourself with people who believe in what you're trying to do. Find mentors, friends, colleagues, people who challenge you to grow, people who will hold you accountable, and people who will celebrate your wins big and small. Because here's the thing, a great idea doesn't mean anything if you don't have the right people around you to help bring it to life. One person can't do it all, but a strong, supportive community, that's where real magic happens. And remember, success isn't just about reaching the finish line, it's about the journey and the people you share it with along the way. So ask yourself, who are you surrounding yourself with? Are you building the kind of community that will help you grow and succeed? If not, now's the time to start. Find your tribe, build that support network, and keep pushing forward, because success is always more rewarding when you don't do it alone. I want you to take a moment and reflect on your journey. Think about your mindset. Are you embracing growth, or are you holding yourself back with limiting beliefs? And what about your community? Who are the people surrounding you? Are they lifting you up, or are they dragging you down? If you're serious about achieving your goals, it's time to take control of your mindset and your community. Change your inner dialogue. Surround yourself with people who believe in you and keep pushing forward no matter what. The road to success is tough, but with the right mindset and the right people, you can make it. So let's get started. Believe in yourself, build your tribe, and never stop moving forward. The importance of emotional intelligence and self-awareness. There's something that high achievers truly understand, something that many of us overlook in the hustle and bustle of life. It's the power of emotional intelligence. You may have heard of Oprah Winfrey, right? She's an icon, a woman who has built an empire on connection. But what's her secret? It's not just her ability to talk to people, it's her emotional intelligence. Oprah has mastered the art of understanding herself and others on a deep emotional level, and that's played a huge role in her success. She often speaks about self-awareness, the ability to truly be in tune with your emotions, recognize them, and use them to fuel your purpose. For Oprah, it's not just about being able to empathize with others, it's about being fully aware of her emotional triggers and managing them in a way that helps her grow. It's easy to assume that emotional intelligence is all about being empathetic, but it's so much more than that. It's about knowing yourself, understanding what makes you tick, what frustrates you, what excites you, and using that knowledge to respond to life's challenges with resilience. Think about it. When you're angry or stressed, do you react impulsively, or do you take a step back and think about why you feel that way? High achievers don't shy away from their emotions. They know how to regulate them. When they face emotional challenges, instead of letting those moments derail their progress, they use them as stepping stones. They turn difficult situations into opportunities for growth. So how about you? Are you aware of your emotional triggers? Do you take the time to reflect on them? When you're faced with frustration or disappointment, do you allow those emotions to consume you, or do you take a deep breath and use them to propel you forward? Let me ask you this. What if your emotional challenges are actually your biggest opportunities? What if they're the moments that shape you into the person you're meant to be? Emotional resilience doesn't come from avoiding emotions. It comes from embracing them, understanding them, and using them to your advantage. The surprising truth about balance and rest now, let's talk about something else that's misunderstood about high achievers. Their ability to rest. Yes, you heard that right, rest. We live in a world where we glorify being busy, don't we? You see it everywhere. People on their phones, always working, always pushing forward, always grinding. And it goes down a weird path. But here's the truth that's often overlooked. Rest is essential for success. I know what you're thinking, but I don't have time to rest. There's so much to do. I get it, but let me share a little wisdom from the ancient philosopher Aristotle. He once said, "No great thing is created suddenly." In other words, it's not about working yourself into the ground every single day. It's about working smart. Pick top athletes as an example. They don't train 24/7. They work hard, but they also know when to take a break. When they train, they push themselves to the limit, but they also prioritize recovery. They rest, they recover, they let their muscles rebuild. And that's exactly what allows them to perform at their best. The same principle applies to high achievers in every field. They understand that rest isn't a luxury, it's a necessary for high performance. Without rest, you're not just risking burnout, you're limiting your potential. Your mind and body need time to recharge so that you can come back even stronger. Think about it. How often do you push yourself until you're running on empty? How often do you neglect your need for rest because you feel like you need to be constantly busy to achieve your goals? But let me tell you something. If you keep going without rest, you're setting yourself up for burnout. Trust me, I've been there. And it doesn't serve anyone. So take a moment, step back, take that break, let your body recharge, let your mind take a pause. The work will still be there when you come back. And you'll come back stronger, more focused, and more motivated than ever before. High achievers have cracked the code. They know that success is not just about hard work and long hours. It's about emotional intelligence and self-awareness. It's about understanding your emotions and using them to fuel your journey. And just as importantly, it's about recognizing the power of rest and balance. They know when to push and they know when to pause. So ask yourself, what could happen if you started taking care of your emotions and allowed yourself the time to rest? How could your life change if you embrace those moments of self-awareness and recovery? Today, I challenge you to do just that. Start small. Take one moment to reflect on your emotions. One moment to take a break and rest. You don't have to do it all at once, but make it a habit. Because when you master emotional intelligence and rest, you unlock a whole new level of success. Now go ahead, take that first step. You've got this. So here's the surprising truth. High achievers aren't superheroes. They're just ordinary people like you and me. But they've learned to embrace failure, cultivate a growth mindset, build strong support networks, understand the power of emotional intelligence, and take time to rest. If you want to be a high achiever, you don't need to sacrifice your happiness, your health, or your relationships. What you need is to shift your mindset, embrace the journey, and trust that you're capable of achieving great things step by step. Remember, success isn't about being perfect. It's about staying persistent, being self-aware, and creating a life that honors your true potential. So what are you waiting for? Take that first step. The world is waiting for what you're about to achieve. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. Take that step. Keep going. You've got this.